Hello everyone, this is Yogita
And this is Trisha.
and this is our podcast The Great Internet Circus where we talk all things internet. Let's start with how did we come up with this idea, because it at first glance it might look like a normal podcast which just talks about things internet, but I'd like to pass it on to Trisha, because Trisha, you remember the aha moment, right, when you decided to have this podcast, and I'd like our audience to
Yeah,
know more about it, because it's going to set us apart, I think.
yeah, definitely. I will never forget the day that I randomly texted you that, oh, yo, let's do a podcast. So the story goes like this, a couple of weeks back, I was at a holy retreat where I was on tech detox, like away from my phone, my laptop, just walking in the nature, trying to find my inner self. And suddenly, while walking, I saw a poster about a podcast on spirituality and how to disconnect yourself from internet. And I was like, oh, wow. Even to encourage people to not be immersed with technology, you have to use technology, go through podcast, which is kind of ironical and funny. And
Fair.
I was like, okay, I knew that we had to put it out there. That how technology is deeply ingrained in every second of our life. Even during a tech detox, you need technology. But yeah, and I was like, okay, I just rushed back to my room and I got my phone and I was like, you know what, let's explore this idea. And who could be a better person other than you, Yogita? So, how did you feel when you received that text out of nowhere? Oh, let's do a podcast on this.
Well, first of all, Trisha, it's thank you for saying that I was the first person,
Yeah,
because I
you
always
didn't pay me to say that. That's true.
because
Yeah.
I always imagined that you went to everyone else and then you're like, yo, this is the person who's not going to say no, so let's text her. But thank you for saying that, Adlil. And I remember the day I received your text, Trisha, right? So I think it was a cricket day where I was in the office and I was watching the live cricket match from my office, which was in Australia. It was between England and India. So we were live premiering the match, and suddenly I received this text out of nowhere, that hey Yog, let's start a podcast about internet. And I was like, you, yeah, why not? I mean, these are the things we talk
Mm,
about most of the time, and talking about my interest, it's I graduated as a mechanical engineer, but I started working in the digital world, because it does fascinate me how the internet has the ability to change the mindset of a person who's sitting on the other side of the screen, right? And then
definitely.
to fast forward to this moment, receiving that text from you was like, just, oh, these are the things I always wanted to discuss. So I said yes directly. I don't think I took time, did I, Trisha?
Yeah, yeah, I think you replied within seconds. And the best part was that you didn't even ask me how, what is it about, whatever. You were like, yeah, let's just do it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that kind of, excitement is contagious. And now here we are recording this podcast for everybody. So, talking about everybody, our audience. So, what do you think, Yogita? What can they expect from this podcast? Do they have to be a techie to understand, or is it for everyone? Like, what can they expect once they tune in on us? So, yeah, tell us more about that.
Well, to talk about what we are going to do in this podcast, let's start from the very beginning, okay? So when so in this sphere of humanity, we discovered a lot of great things, but if we look at the major events like discovering the fire, right? So fire was
Right,
something that we discovered for our protection, but fire was
right,
also something that became our enemy at various points of the history, right?
right.
And
And
then
yeah,
there
same with the wheel also, like we invented the wheel and now it's such an integral part of our day-to-day life.
absolutely, absolutely. And then then you come to the 21st century where we have invented this magical thing known as internet, right? And then
Yeah,
it's affecting us as much as we have affected the internet. Like, with
Definitely.
the whole updates and algorithms and everything. So it's interesting to see that whatever we invent has the power to reinvent us.
Yeah. Yeah. I think very rightly said. And you know, like you said that in this 21st century, internet is such an integral part of our lives that in this podcast we are going to divide it into smaller chunks, you know,
Mm-hmm.
something such as like how is internet affecting the gender gap, climate change, and all of those things, because it is so ingrained in our lives that I don't think there's any industry, any sector, any second of our life which is away from the internet,
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely. It's more like, we invented this baby known as internet, and
Yeah.
now it's going to affect us as parents.
Oh, wow. That's that's so true. I never thought of it that way. I always thought internet was my parent and teaching me. But yeah, you're absolutely right about that. So yeah, talking about the good things about internet, let's take a moment to also acknowledge that there's a huge chunk of internet which is maybe not that safe, or the dark part of the internet. So you tell me, like, what was your first encounter with internet that really scared you? Like, oh my God, this shit is scary. You know?
Okay, so apart from the, when I was a kid, I
Yeah.
was so afraid of clicking the wrong button because do you remember the games and the different ads where you just click it and then
Yeah.
they cut the 30 rupees of your
Yeah.
recharge balance.
Yeah.
So I think we are not taking that into consideration. So really when I was scared was, let's say, I keep searching different things on the internet, right?
Right.
So being a digital professional, I have to search about the, how we can personalize the experience, the whole digital
Yeah.
experience, right? And
Right.
then it's also very easy to go down the rabbit hole of different things.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I was doing one of those things on the internet, and
Yeah.
then I come to Netflix, right?
Hmm.
Our buddy Netflix, and then I come to Netflix, and somehow in my recommendation, we have this show, this documentary called The Social Dilemma. Have you watched it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. It scared me so much. Yeah.
God, that was you know, it was like somebody's finally showing me the mirror, right? Because deep
Yeah.
down we know all these things, we see all these things, and
Yeah.
then I saw it on. I finished the documentary in one sitting, and then I think I was very very scared of the internet at that point.
Oh my, that documentary was worth getting scared of. Like I remember watching it during the pandemic, and my next reaction was that I deleted all my social media apps. And I was like, no, no. And now that I've seen what it does to me, like if the product is me, like who am I really? And I went through a whole existential crisis. But then I was brought back because, of course, FOMO. So I came back to it. But yeah, I had this experience where I was just, of course, a buddy. I was just browsing through Netflix, and
Mm-hmm.
I came across this small, very short film on dark web.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my God, boy, did I regret watching it.
I'm
I
sorry.
was, I was so I got all panicky while watching it, and after that, like you said, it's a rabbit hole. I went into a spiral. I started watching documentary on YouTube, animated videos on YouTube on dark web, and I was really taken aback, and I started questioning humanity at a point, going through all of
Boy,
those
that's
things.
hard.
Yeah, I know. And then I had to, like, since, like, like I'm also working in the same industry, I had to bring myself back to reality that I know it's scary, but we are working in it, we are part of it, and somewhere as professionals in the digital sector, we are promoters of it. So now let's explore the good part of the internet, right?
Mm.
So what do you think that is the best part about social media, internet, that made a change in your life also?
So, so if I have to, tell you about my habits, it's like I depend too much on the technology. Coming
Yeah,
from a
yeah,
mechanical background, I know what machines are capable of. What is the
yeah,
AI capable of? Because I see it on the Google every day, right?
yeah,
So I think that takes me to the way I use my internet, because I do have impulses, right? And
yeah,
as you know, the social media can be a toxic place, right?
definitely.
Yeah. So to control my impulses, what I've done is I've downloaded different tabs. Whenever
Hmm.
I get an impulse to just go on the Instagram and watch a reel, you know, I've been you've been sending a lot of reels to me, right?
I'm a real
So
girl. I'm a
yeah.
proud real girl. Yeah.
And to just control that impulse, I just open different app, like a meditation app, or a news app, or
Yeah.
a fact app. So I think that way it's our greatest ability to have a way to gather the knowledge, right? It has become very easy, and I think very ignored. uh,
That's
yeah, I
very
think it's
true.
one of the advantage of internet, and at the same time, because of the attention spans we've been
Yo, yeah.
yeah going towards, it's at the same time it's the disadvantage we are facing, I guess.
Definitely, definitely.
And then what would you say that what has done internet that has made your life better?
I would like, if I have to express it in one word, I think my experience is a little contrary to the experience that a lot of people have on social media. My experience in one word would be, it gave me a boost of confidence. Definitely. Like, we were talking about um, social media. Now, whenever I think, or anybody on this planet thinks that, oh, my opinion does not matter, I'm just one person, right? And we put it on social media, like one story, one post, and hundreds, thousands of our friends are looking at it. So and some people are agreeing with it, some people are, you know going against what my viewpoint is. But at the same time, it makes me realize that, oh, my opinions are not going in vain. What I want to say, I can put it out in the world. Somebody is going to agree with me, and maybe somebody who is thinking that, the same thing, that my opinion doesn't matter, I'm lonely, or things like that, they might feel encouraged, when they see that. So that's a huge part of internet. Like, like we were talking about, I said, like, oh, I'm a very proud real girl. So like, in the beginning of things, like, I was very conscious in making reels, you know like, how am I going to show my face, how am I supposed to not use filter, how am I supposed to dance on random songs, and things like that. But now, if you look at me, I can make one every day. I enjoy it thoroughly, and I've come to a point where I don't give a damn, I just enjoy doing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think these things have really helped a lot of us as a boost of confidence. And secondly, like, which is very important, is how the internet has become a huge source of income, who may not have had the equal opportunities to get the best of the education and, like, make a full-time career 9 to 5. Like, I watch so many YouTubers who begin their journey as a hobby, and they end up saying that now it's a paid hobby,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what better can internet provide us with? So I really love that side of the internet. But of course, like, like internet addiction, not being able to sleep without watching a reel, things like that are, I would say, collateral damage to it. So how do you think, Yogita? How do you think we can use internet to our best advantage, while kind of blurring out the collateral damages that I just mentioned about?
Okay, so this is, as you rightly said, this is, I just gonna go out and make a bold statement that this is the closest we have ever been to having equal opportunities, right?
True.
Now, what is preventing us is the scattered data. We have all the
Right.
data and we have everything at one place. And if we look closely, everything is available for free.
Hmm.
And what we have to do is we have to find the right tools. That's it,
Right.
right? And we just have to, as I was saying, the impulse control thing, because it's very
Yeah.
easy when we see the shiny thing on the internet to
Yeah.
not persuade it, right?
Definitely.
So I think uh, we we what we do here is to get the most out of the internet is we
Hmm.
be mindful about our uses.
Yeah.
Are you, of course you are an you are a real girl, so that means you have to look at the reels that are going to promote your creativity, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to me, I'm not a real girl, so I do not have
Hmm.
any business watching reels all the time, right?
Right.
So how do I manage that? How do I, stop getting the suggestion of reels in my feed? So what I do is I make sure that my following list is clear, that I'm not following any of the
Hmm.
pages that are going to distract me. But
Right.
that doesn't mean that you completely stop watching reels that entertain you. See, internet is a way of entertainment as well, right? So I
Yeah.
think uh, to be mindful about your internet use is something that we can do to get most out of the internet.
Definitely.
I think now that we've seen the advantages, Trisha, like
Yeah.
how we can make it a better place for ourselves. How do
Yeah.
you think that it affects our behavior, especially in terms of e-shopping, right? You
Yeah.
take Instagram, sorry, you take Amazon. Now that Instagram is a shopping place, you take Instagram and everything.
Definitely.
How is it affecting our purchasing behavior?
So
You know what
I
I mean?
would, yeah, 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 definitely. And it's a very good question because if you see, then now people are more conscious regarding their buying behavior. And I'll tell you why. Because through digital media, the brands are able to communicate better what they stand for. Right. So to give you an example, let's say, let's like on top of my head, H&M.
Hmm.
The moment they started their conscious clothing brand, it
Hmm.
was all over my internet, and I was attracted towards it. That, oh, like, finally they are not going towards fast fashion, and I wouldn't mind paying a couple of extra bucks if that means that my planet is going to be safe. Now that was very well articulated and delivered by the brand. So this is just one example. So definitely the brands are now able to communicate better what they stand for, how are they changing their marketing strategy and being more inclusive and more conscious that way. So like that gets me to my second point, which is that after this digital revolution, we witnessed, like you rightly mentioned, Instagram as a marketplace. So now we have tons of small businesses who are low in scale, who are better for the environment. You buy and you get a personalized experience and all of those things. I read somewhere that when you buy from a small business, there's an actual human doing a happy dance, which is so cute. And
Pretty sure, yes.
yeah, and which is so true also. So that has kind of connected us emotionally to the sellers and not just through the big brands, right? So now coming to the waiting part of it, I would say because of these giants like Flipkart and Amazon, it has completely ruined our patience level because of one day delivery and all sorts of things. It is impossible for me to order something, and if I don't get it in Prime, it says 3 to 4 days. I get irritated. Like, why can't it come tomorrow? Things like that. So everything is so easily available and out there that somewhere we have lost that kind of enjoyment that comes, that something you've been longing for and it comes to your home. We have lost that. It's such an everyday commodity. But at the same time, like, I'm old school in one way. I cannot buy clothes online. I
Cause
have to, no, not at all. I have to go to the store, I have to touch it, I have to feel it. You know, that touch and feel aspect of shopping is so important for me when I think of clothes that I just can't. Like, it's okay. I'll see the H&M app, I'll see what they have in their conscious collection. I'll go to the mall and I'll buy.
hmm,
I will not dare to buy online because I'm like, no, I want to see how it looks on me and everything. And that's one of the reasons why everything has moved online, everything can be moved online, but somewhere retailing
hmm,
is still offline. Malls are not dead. These big showrooms of even luxury brands like Gucci and Louis Vuitton, all these are not dead because people for the, let's say for the status quo itself want to go there, want to
hmm.
feel that kind of luxury, want to pick the bag there, right? So that is why offline retailing is not dead yet. So that is definitely my experience with e-commerce as of now.
And can you believe,
Yeah.
Trisha, that our attention span is 7 seconds?
Really?
Like, yeah, we can hold anything in for 7 seconds. That's it. How crazy is that?
I am more worried about the next generation, like the kids who are on their iPad from like 3 years of age. Like, how are they gonna study yoga? I mean,
Yeah, with that attention span and with that much data, I think, yeah, everyone should be worried.
yeah, I mean, I mostly see, like, whenever I travel, I mostly see toddlers now being stuck to their iPad rather than, running around or doing what we think normal. So, oh, I didn't know. I knew that my attention was small because I have moved on from your long YouTube videos.
Hmm.
Now I'm more like, okay, give me, reels and YouTube shorts and I'm done.
Yeah, that's how we consume it now, I think.
That's actually quite funny if you ask me.
So just going to say that it's you were born in the 90s, right? And then
No,
you were, right?
no,
No. Okay.
2000.
So it's because you mentioned that you have to go to a physical store just to feel
Yeah,
the threads and everything how it looks on you.
yeah,
But the next generation is not going to have that since the beginning, right?
yeah,
So
you're
that
right, you're
means
right.
the e-commerce is the future, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely the e-commerce is the future, and the companies that have gripped onto it, will profit from it like anything. Like, to give you an example, like, again, so there are so many companies who moved online, like even Zara, H&M, and everyone, and they promote their products online as well. But
Mm-hmm.
let's take an example of Shopper Stop, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were already slowing down in their operations and with their collection and everything. And the worst part was when the pandemic hit.
Ah.
They were not agile enough to switch to online very quickly,
Mm.
you know, and that's why, like, being the shopaholic I am, I've never seen any Shopper Stop ad. I've never seen someone using their app. I've never seen a lot of products of them getting listed on these Amazon, Mintra, and all of those things. So you're absolutely right. The future is 100% e-commerce, be it the big brands or be
Mm-hmm.
it the small businesses, you know.
Mm.
So, since you know a lot of behind the scenes as a digital marketing expert, what kind of trends in the search results do you see that are now changing from how they were before?
Well, for that, let's start with the revolution of internet, right?
Okay,
So when we started the internet, it was all about just get the keyword in the content, right?
right,
So if you just put your keyword for, let's say, 1,000 time on a just one web page,
right,
that means it was going to rank, and that was
yeah,
I think, people took time to figure it out, but
yeah,
they
yeah,
finally did, and everyone
yeah,
started doing it.
yeah,
Now, then the then the search engine came between the whole thing, and then they said, oh, you can't just show pages with keywords, you have to have some information.
Yeah, yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
so once we started doing that, the webmasters and people writing on the internet, then Google took up the whole NLP process, that is natural language programming, right?
Oh, I see.
So it wasn't just about the keywords, it was about what information you are showing up on your page. And now we
Right.
are at a point where it matters the most. But then there is also a part of monetization, then there is also part of
Yeah,
intent, search
right.
intent, right? So that means if Trisha is searching a Zara shop near me, she's gonna get
Yeah,
different experience than someone who's searching t-shirts of Zara on the internet. Do they have
definitely.
t-shirts?
Yeah, yeah, of course, Yog.
Okay.
I think I need to take you shopping. I really think I need to. Yeah, let's catch up later regarding this. Yeah.
If you go on the social media, there's this boom of visual content, right?
Yeah,
Be it
definitely.
reel, be it a video or a storytelling.
Yeah,
So instead of a static post or a text post, I'd really prefer a video post.
yeah, that's true.
So
That's very true.
what what are your thoughts about it? Is that the future? Why do you think that's happening?
I think the future is video marketing. You know, like okay, I know I'm circling back to Instagram again,
Mm-hmm.
but if you see now, Instagram is organically boosting reels so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't even have to put that much efforts, and you can't run ads on reel because it organically has so much reach, right? So why is it happening? You know, so somewhere like video content humanizes your brand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are faces, and like we both have had enough exposure regarding this, that whenever a brand puts up a story of an employee, or like there was a time where Uber used to put stories about their drivers, it would really resonate with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I may not immediately take a reaction like, oh wow, this is a story of a driver, I'll just book an Uber or go somewhere else, right? I may not immediately take a reaction, but I have that in mind, that Uber now in my mind is a brand which cares about their driver executives, and Uber Eats used to care a lot about their delivery executives. So now I perceive that brand as someone who's very caring. So yeah, I would, that is on top of my mind. So whenever I have to book a cab, I will use Uber. Now the second thing is that if you compare it to the static post, like you said, that were in a lot of practice before, video content gives us more data. And this
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about from a consumer perspective, I'm talking about from let's say a page owner's perspective. It not only gives you that how many people looked at your post, it also gives you the watch time, you
Mm-hmm.
know, like for how many seconds were you able to engage your audience. And that kind of insight tells you that okay, this is the thing that you're doing it wrong, make it shorter, make this part longer, things like that. So that is why the data that we receive from
Mm-hmm.
our video ads or video marketing is very important. Now, like, let's take you more toward the influencer side. Okay. So okay, let's say L'Oreal, right? They have started taking up a lot of influencers. They have started doing influencer marketing a lot. So would I be more drawn towards an influencer just posting a picture, or would I be more drawn towards an influencer creating a funny content behind it and then
Well,
using the L'Oreal product?
well, I would go with the later one for sure.
Exactly, exactly. So it increases the engagement naturally without even having to spend more, like a lot of money in your ad section of it. So yeah, definitely video marketing is the future. Instagram is doing it, and Facebook is doing it. TikTok, YouTube has started shorts, right?
Mm.
So all the business owners out there, if you have not started yet with video marketing, take this podcast as a sign. You know that you need to start today.
Well,
So yeah.
also, can I quickly put on a side note that you can also subscribe us?
Definitely, we'll give you tips on it. And yeah, and also a shout out once we get famous, right, Yog? Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, we love our audience. We do
Okay.
anything for them. Okay, I think we have spoken enough about things which are not human, such as the internet. So let's talk about some living creatures such as you and me. So everyone must be wondering that who are we? How are we qualified enough to talk about this? Like, what have we done in our lives to start this? So, would you like to go ahead and, people do it at the beginning, but we are doing at the end after discussing everything. But it's okay as long as we kept everyone entertained, right?
Definitely. And I'd just like to say that I can just imagine somebody listening to this podcast, Trisha, and they'll be like, oh, I've never heard of them. Who the hell
Mm.
are they? They're telling me about the reels and stuff. Uh, so I think this is absolutely the right time to tell them that for the past few years I've been working as a digital marketing specialist, and as I mentioned, I was a mechanical engineer, but I'm very fascinated. Uh, I'm very fascinated by the fact that these small things, even as you said, a 30 seconds reel or
Mm.
a 2 minutes video, it has so
Right,
much impact on our lives, right? So
right,
just to be able to take my expertise out of the industry and to express it in the simplest word, and I hope I'm doing it. To do that is I think it's really interesting for me. And now you go.
okay. So, like Yog talks a lot about the user's perspective because, like I said, she's are someone on the inside who knows a lot of things about algorithms and behind the scenes. But I am someone who is not a techie. So anyone out there thinking that technology is only if you've done a P-Tech or something like that, no, trust me, you can have interest in it, have a career in it, even if you're not a techie. I am from a management background and I specialize in marketing, and that's why I am always more focused on the organization side, the brand side. You know how well the brands have adapted to this evolving communication strategy through this digital content which is in abundance out there. Like, just a few days back I was talking to Yogita about it. Like, as a Gen Z, I have not grown up seeing a lot of print media ads. So when I think of a Jeep, the brand personality that comes to my mind is same as what it comes from my parents. Rough, rugged, strong. But how? It is through digital ads. And that's how now we perceive the brand personality through a digital lens. You know?
Hmm.
So I talk about that side of the internet, and I think together we make a good combination. Not only our friendship but our podcast as well. And I think we've spoken a lot for our first podcast, first episode. So thank you everyone for listening to it. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and also follow us on Instagram, which is the Great Internet Circus. And stay tuned because we have a lot of fun stuff coming up, a lot of interviews with people across industry to understand how internet is actually the greatest circus around us.
Yeah, and if you like going in the shops to do the physical shopping, then also you can listen to this podcast because basically you are Trisha on the other end.
Yeah, yeah. I think yeah, I
So
would give you some great tips, definitely.
yeah. So
All
That's
right.
it, folks. We'll see you around. Have a
Okay, thank
nice
you so
evening.
much.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.